Hey, what's up, guys? Happy Sunday morning. Bambino here. Thanks for joining the stream. Another FSEconomy stream. I think this is number 41, if I'm not mistaken. Hopefully I got that right. Got a lot of things to talk about today. A lot of things to talk about. And we're going to get to it all. Certainly an update on VR Aviation, our FSEconomy group. And we're going to talk about some custom scenery that SimPilot 13 designed for one of our new FBOs, and we've got a couple of new planes in the livery in the hangar that everyone in the group can use. And we're going to talk about 11.20 VR3 and new giveaway that I have planned and a bunch of stuff. So I appreciate you guys joining me on a Sunday morning. We're already started up here because I wanted to get into the sky and discuss a couple things and get the chat going. So say hello in the chat if you're here. Appreciate you guys stopping by. Happy Sunday morning. And we're also going to talk a little bit about some accusations that were levied upon me yesterday in John Fly's stream by the board and management of Snack Air. One of the largest groups on FSEconomy. Good morning, M66 Dream Reaper. How you doing? Thanks for joining the stream. And the accusations that one Bambino had treacherous motives to actually spy upon those of Snack Air for some terrible reason, in the ways of New England Patriots and Bill Belichick. In any event, we're going to talk about that a little bit, dispel any rumors that there might be, but it's all in good fun. Had a nice time in the chat on John Fly's stream yesterday morning, and it's all in good fun. So anyway, let's get to it here. We got the PC-12 with VR Aviation livery. You can get this on Xplane.org. Just search VR Aviation. There's actually two liveries on there for this plane, and there's one for the 208. So if you want to fly it, whether you're a member of the group or not, feel free to fly it. It's there for everyone to try out, check out. And I have a couple more planned. I'm going to be working on one for probably the B1900D next, and then I'm going to do the Challenger. And we're also thinking about having a contest for those interested who are livery painters that want to paint a VR Aviation logo, logo themed livery for the Cessna 172. So we'll see if there's interest in doing that. In any event, we're at Tampa here. Really good FSEconomy flights in the central and southern Florida area, especially Tampa and MCO, which is Orlando. But we're at Tampa, and we're going to fly one of my favorite routes to Ormond Beach. It's 100 miles there, 100 miles back, and make a little bit of money for VR Aviation. You're welcome for the tricks last stream. I'm glad it helped. That's excellent. That's excellent. I'm glad that they helped. We're going to talk about VR 11.20 VR3 too, and also, I should say, and the experience that I've been having with it, which has been really good, actually. I know there have been some complaints about it, but I'm seeing actually a lot smoother streaming. Sorry, a lot smoother flight, which is great. But we're going to talk about that a little bit. So anyway, let's get to, before we do anything, let's get to the planning, get that out of the way. So I've got the plan all laid out. Here's Sky Vector. We're going to be going from Tampa, St. Pete area, where the Yankees have started their pitchers and catchers spring training, Tampa area. I love the Yankees. The New York Yankees, the best baseball team in baseball. And we're going to take that to Ormond Beach via the Folig waypoint, get us into there and hopefully line us up well. And then coming back across Central Florida to the Fatty waypoint, and then into Tampa. So that's our simple flight plan. 223 round trip. We'll do it in less than 2 hours. We'll be flying about 225 knots in the PC-12. That's one thing about the PC-12. It gives you very fast flying times and 10 seats. So it's really actually a great plane for FSEconomy. At least that's what I've found. And I've managed to use that to build up a nice chunk of money. You can see here, $833,000. This is my own balance. Okay, a lot of that's flying for VR Aviation. I'll admit some of these haven't, but I would say 90% of my flights are for VR Aviation. I'm saving up for a Challenger. Almost there. Got about 180,000 to go to get there. In any event, this one's going to be for VR Aviation, and we've got 13K in assignments, 10 seats there, 10 seats back. And if you look at this plane, PC-12, it says seats 11, but one's the pilot. So you got 10 passengers, and pretty quick, 270 knots. Although that's at altitude, so I usually fly a little bit lower than that, just to get up and down quickly. Decent amount of fuel, and you can put in this thing, and it's great for those 100 to 200 mile jaunts. So M2, thank you for joining the chat. Thank you for the bear emoji. Good morning. Happy Sunday. I hope you guys got a nice cup of coffee like me. In any event, that's the PC-12. I love this plane. This is actually Flyboy's plane. He's one of our members, one of the VR Aviation members. And we're going to go over the numbers in a little bit here and get to that. So in any event, that's the plan for today. That's the flight. At least one. Maybe we'll do another one. I have a PC-12 in New York and at LaGuardia that I own. Show you the aircraft that I own. I actually put them under a thing called Bambino Holdings now. So I've got 4 planes. This one I've leased to VR Aviation. We'll talk about that in a little bit. So if you're part of the VR Aviation group, you can rent this for free in the Charlotte area. Lucrative area for the B1900D. Got 2 SR-20s. One is leased to the group, and the other one is in Hawaii, which I have for sale. So if you like to fly SR-20 in Hawaii, feel free to go check that out and buy it for $239,000. Hopefully I'll put that towards the Challenger. And then I've got the PC-12 in LaGuardia, which we may fly a little bit later. So those are my planes, and we'll go over the planes for VR Aviation in a second here. So let me get this bird in the air, and then we'll be on our way. So cool. That's the plan. I gotta get the flight plan loaded up in the bird and get in the sky. So let's get in here. All right. All right, let's get our flight plan loaded up. Let's go to here. We're going to go to menu. We're going to clear. I just like to always clear them out. And I already have this one in here. So we're going to go, boom, the cursor. I see all these flight plans. These are all the routes that I run for our aviation group. Just routes that I've found that are really good. If you want them, I'll sell them to you. In any event. All right, so there's our plan for that. We're going to go to Fullig. So we want to scroll down to there. Activate that leg. Oop, nope, I don't want to clear that. I want to activate that. Activate. All right, good. So we're good there. We got that on the map. We're going to put the CDI to GPS. So lock that in. Make sure that the indicator is pointing the right way, which it is. Now, unfortunately, on this plane, it's a Carenado plane. Yeah, B2. VR Aviation is, well, I run the group. I started the group. And we actually merged with another group called RML, which has some FBOs out in the west in Montana, which is really a beautiful place to fly. So I'll go over our FBOs and stuff in a little bit. But yes, this is a group that I started that has taken off since the beginning of January. All right, so as far as the touch control in the cockpit of this plane, it's a Carinata plane, so it's not officially VR compatible, although some things do work, like this. You saw the GPS. Okay, and the new feature with VR3 is this laser pointer now. So I go over this in a video on my YouTube channel if you want to do that. So you can, like, if I wanted to, where's the flaps? Or let's do something that's not going to screw anything up. What can I do here? Yeah, let's go to flaps. So if I want to go to flaps, I just take the laser pointer, point at the flaps, and I can grab those, and now I can move the flaps. Okay, and the way it works is a slight touch gives you the slight laser beam, and then when you pull the trigger full, it goes bright green, and that's when you can. So the slight touch just selects the item, and then the full trigger allows you to move it, which is really a cool function. Now you got to be careful with this though, because let's see if it works for it doesn't work for getting rid of the yoke. But you have to be careful because I know in the Challenger, like, there's a lot of little buttons and stuff, and you got to be really careful about what you're selecting and what you're latching onto and what you're actually selecting. But it is a nice feature. It's going to come in handy for, things like, quick little switches and stuff like that, rather than having to go to the mouse. And there is a 3D mouse capability in VR3 too, which we'll talk about. I haven't really been using it yet because it interferes with the 2D mouse, but we'll talk about that in a second. But in any event, let's get this bird in the air. So I want to load up FSEconomy and make sure I have enough gas first. Let's see, what do I got? I have 160. I'm going 200. I'm going 223 miles. So let me just see here. So we're gonna go. We got, what do we say? 10 passengers, right? So we can fit 389 gallons. We're going to. It's gonna say 250. It's telling me we need 42. I don't always trust FSEconomy. I'm just gonna top it off to 200. What the hell? So we got plenty of room, and it's always good to have a good amount of fuel. So that's gonna be that. And now that that's done, go to X-Plane, and then we will go to FSEconomy, log in. See, we're running the new client, the 1.9.1, and you want to upgrade this soon because apparently they're going to retire the old one. So you want to make sure you upgrade. It's got some cool features. So there we go. We started up 5 assignments, got our gas loaded in, and we're good to go. All right, so we got 10 seats en route to Ormond Beach. Cool. Let's get in the air. Now, the autopilot, again, and this doesn't work with the touch controller, so I just use plane command for autopilot for this. It just makes it a lot easier to do. So let's get in the air, assuming we have clearance. We don't want to override. Let's get our flaps to 1 notch. Bring this up to about 35%. Good. Everything's revved and up. Release the brakes, and we should be good to go. Now you notice the clicking is gone. Now thanks to Quasme, who's a member of the Discord. I think he's a member of the FSEconomy group. He showed me a little fix where you modify the sound file, and it got rid of that dreadful clicking, which is terrible. And we're getting some judder here, which is not good. So let me get off the ground here. Hopefully, if I close this window, that'll improve, which it did. Good. All right, so let's get those flaps up, gear up. I'm going to turn right here to get on our course. I'll hand fly it up to about 2,000, and then we'll lock in the autopilot with plane command. Plane Command's a great feature, a great add-on to have for VR. Just makes things so much easier. Control. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. Exactly. It looks kind of weird. It goes away eventually, that controller thing. All right, let me get to altitude here. We'll come to 2,000. Nice day to fly in Central Florida. One thing about Central Florida, though, it's very flat. So you don't have a lot of those, you don't have the beautiful mountains like in Montana. Altitude hold. Altitude hold.
Altitude hold on.
LNAV on.
LNAV on.
All right, cool. So that locks in the autopilot. And we should pick up the course here, and we'll hold 2034 all the way to Ormond Beach. We've got about, probably about 20 minutes there once we get the speed. See, this thing will come up to, make sure we got our flaps up and our... Check out the outside. There's the VR Aviation logo livery. Get that on X-Plane.org, and the hovering X-Pad in VR, which they've now added the hovering touch controller. That wasn't there before VR3, unfortunately. Now that's there. Hopefully they'll fix that at some point. But there's the PC-12 snazzy livery. Got the VRA logo on the tail, VRA logo under the window on both sides. Not too much, not too little. Got the red colors. And if you zoom in here, see it's got the PC-12 logo on the wingtip. And if we go underneath, it's just all black, or actually white wings underneath. Tail number 328 Papa Charlie, or PC-12. There you go. Pretty nice. All right, so while we're flying here, and now that we're in a good shape here, let's see. Let's go over FSEconomy and where we are as a group. A lot of things have changed since the last time I streamed. So changed for the good. And first, let's go over the financials. Now, you'll notice our bank account is a little bit low. Last time we were about 800,000. Now we're about 560,000. But we made some significant purchases since the last time that I streamed. We bought a plane, and we bought a number of FBOs. So let's talk about the plane first. I'm not sure what that is. Every once in a while, I get that little sound effects. I don't know what goes on with that, but in any event. So let's talk about the plane first. So we take a look at our aircraft. Go to VR Aviation aircraft, and we bought a Baron for our East Coast network. Its home is 3N, which is a hub that we have now in the East Coast. We'll talk about that in a second. And we bought a Baron, $375,000. I think I bought it in, forget where I bought it, but I flew it to 33N. And now it's there for us to use, 0 rent. And just, only ask that you keep it within or close to the network, and so that other people can use it to fly VR Aviation flights. That's what it's there for. It's there for you guys to use. You guys earned the money to buy it, as did I, but we all did, and it's there for us to use. So we've added that. And also, I have a 1900D that I was keeping at LaGuardia. I've had it for about a month and a half. And I got kind of bored flying in around LaGuardia. So I know that Charlotte's got some really, really good 3-hop FSEconomy jobs that you can do. So I flew it down to Charlotte, and I'm leasing it now to VR Aviation at zero rental. There's a little bonus just to keep it in the area. So I really don't want to strain it too far from Charlotte, because that's where the gigs are. And it's there for our group to use. Feel free, join the group. You're using that plane. It's a great plane for FSEconomy. It's $1 million plane if you wanted to buy one yourself, but you can come in and use it rent free as if it's your own. So, and that's the new. Those are two new planes that we have. Oh, sorry, third plane was a Cessna 404 Titan, which Sapper leased to the group. This one's at BTM, which is out in Montana, and that's actually a plane. It's got 9 passengers that you can use. It's decent speed, about 200 knots, that you can use out there for larger passenger or jobs, I should say. So we're adding up. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 planes now. Not as many as Snack Air. I think Snack Air has I don't know, 50 planes. They had a ridiculous amount of planes. John Fly was going over their plane count yesterday, and it was like amazing. I think they have a Challenger. Someone leased them a Challenger for free. At any event, so we're building up here, and a lot of our pilots use their own planes, or they'll rent planes outside. But it's certainly better for VR Aviation if you're using a plane that doesn't have a rent on it. Some of our planes have rents on it. The owners wanted to keep the rent on them. So, but in any event, you're free to use those. Let's see. I can't wait to upgrade my PC so I can play X-Plane again. Oh, okay. Yeah, Dream Reaper, you've got to since 11.1. Oh, wow. Maybe there's some optimization that you can do. I'm not sure what PC you have. Yeah, I know. Snack Air sneezes and gets another plane. It's so true, man. It's so true. El Castro, thanks for joining from the Azores. I appreciate you checking out the stream today, man. Thanks a lot. I do appreciate that. Let's just check us. And El Castro, thanks for the follow. I appreciate that.
Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
What's our vector, Victor? Thanks for joining. In any event, yeah, Snack Air sneezes and they get a plane. You're right. But anyway, so our humble little hangar is growing, and probably we'll be growing some stuff in the east too as we build this network out. So that's our aircraft. Let's take a look at our FBOs. And first we'll start in the east. This is a pretty constant system that we have out there. This system came to us in the merger with RML Aviation, and we've got, I think it's 10 FBOs, maybe 11 FBOs, all connected into BTM. All right. Great place to fly. These are beautiful mountainous areas. Some very challenging flights. A lot of elevation changes. You really need to plan them out to make sure that you're, not going to crash your plane into the side of a mountain. So it's a challenging place to fly. It's not your typical flat East Coast flying where you put it at, 5,000 feet and you cruise like we're doing in Florida. This is challenging and it's beautiful. If you got ortho set up in this area, it's a great place to fly. We have a lot of planes and a lot of FBOs with a lot of jobs out there to keep you happy and to check out. So make sure you check out our Western hub. Yeah, it's really is fun for GA planes B2. In fact, we have a Baron out there, and I think one of our guys, let's see, who was it? Let's see, hold on a second here. The log. Skidmark he flew like 1,000 miles yesterday in the Baron. He took it way south and took it way north. Looks like he had a really cool flight plan. He made a nice amount of money for the group, and he took this Baron quite a ways. And this is a Baron that we lease from this group here, this South African fuselage. We're probably going to buy a Baron out there, so we don't have to pay. I think the monthly is like 11 grand or something like that to lease this plane. So to get rid of that, I like to have no debt. So hopefully at some point we'll buy a Baron for out west and we'll return this lease So yeah, the Baron's a very popular plane, especially in those elevations. 208 also, even though it's slower, it's really good for cargo runs. So we have two 208s out there. One leased from Air Dogs, which is free to us, free to rent, and the other is the one that we leased from the South African, which we're probably going to get rid of. But in any event, 208's great out there too because a lot of higher elevations and for flying cargo in and out of our FBOs, it's a great plane for that. But yeah, you're right. GA flight out there is awesome. So back to the FBO. So if you join our group, you'll have access to this map and you'll be able to see exactly where everything is. And as you can see, if we go to BTM Mooney Airport, lots. This is a 3-lot airport. Nice FBO. We've got a lot of nice jobs you can fly out to all of our FBOs in the Baron or the even a Skyhawk if you want to. So a lot of opportunities. We even have a couple of SR-20s out there. That's a great plane to fly in those scenic areas too because of the a lot of the glass available in the cockpit. You can really get great views and stuff. So keep it on that. Yeah, Baron went for 290. Oh, wow. Yeah, I will keep an eye on it. It kind of depends on where it is too, because even though it's a decently fast plane, you want to buy it like in the area because it's something. I'll even pay a little bit of a premium if it's closer to where our FBO is and stuff. But yeah, I'll definitely keep an eye on that. Thank you. So that's the West Coast and a well-established, and make sure you check that out. Plenty of repair and fuel all over the place. And then if we zoom east, this is an area that we're building out. And I think the last time we spoke, we had Trenton, which is KTTN. We had this guy here, which is N40, which is Sky Mountain, which I've actually been to. They've got a great burger there. They have a really, really great restaurant there. It's a small little place in actually central west New Jersey, pretty close to the Delaware River. And then we had N47, which is Pottstown, Pennsylvania. So these are nice. I think these are 1-lotters, and we had them going to Trenton. But since then, we've added 3 more FBOs. 33N, which is Delaware Air Park, which is a 2-lotter. We've added 57, N57, which is, I forget where the hell that is. That's somewhere in Pennsylvania. And then we've got this guy in Virginia, which is W00. Okay, this is a 1-lotter. I think this is a 2-lotter. And actually, for a 57, one of our members, SimPilot 13, who's also in the John Fly streams quite a bit, he took it upon himself to build a custom scenery for that. And you can get that on the X-Plane Scenery site. You download that, install it as custom scenery. And when you fly in, you'll see his stuff, and it looks really, really cool. Really, really cool. So, and we're planning on doing that. If we buy an FBO that doesn't have scenery, we've got people in the group that are interested in that stuff development, like Robo. Robo Friesen is another guy who does that kind of stuff. And along with SimPilot 13, and those guys are into that. So we'll be, if we don't have have scenery for an FBO, we'll probably have someone who will develop it because it is much nicer when you fly into an area where you have an FBO. M6 says, do you communicate in-game ATC? Haven't you been watching? No, I don't use the in-game ATC at all. And I don't use that. I don't use the in-game ATC at all. The Willow Flandreau. I hope I got that right. Thanks for the follow, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's kind of rough. I just really haven't ever got into it. I'm a Pilot Edge member, and I do some flying on Pilot Edge, although I haven't been on there in a while, in probably about 2 weeks. So I've got to get back into that. But yeah, I'm not real wild about Laminar's ATC, although they said that they're kind of working on improving that. But in any event, so that's our FBOs in the East Coast, and just take a look at some of those here. Give me the go to aircraft. Oops, it's the easiest way to find it. Let's go to 33. Where's 33? So 33, you see we have jobs building up, and this is a 2-lotter, okay? But you can take these out to 57, where we've got a decent amount of jobs. We have a Trenton. We rent 4 gates, okay? You can see these are all jobs that are going to our FBOs. You see, you can always tell our jobs out here because I put a little emoji in there, so you know it's one of ours. Make it a little bit easier. And we got VR pilots. We've got 100 Burger Foodies. We've got Beer Fest Tourists, Baseball Scouts, Foo Fighters, one of my favorite bands. And yeah, so kind of keeping it fun there. It's supposed to be a little guitar, although it doesn't really look like a guitar. But yeah, so we've got that, and we've got an N57. We've got the Trenton, and I think we've got, let's see, this guy here, W00. We got a couple. These will start. These are small 1-lotters, but we're going to start focusing more on the 2-lotters, and we're trying to get a 3-lot FBO in this area. It's so difficult. This stuff, all this area in the East Coast have been bought out, like most of FSE, for a long time. And hopefully we'll get someone to part with an FBO in this area, a 3-lot FBO in this area, so we can continue to build up our network here. So in any event, that's the network, and a lot of money went in. So a lot of our money went into getting 33N, 57, 40. Sorry, 57. What did I say? 50, yeah, 40. Wait, my bad. 57 and W00. A lot of money went into that because we had to build them out. And these were actually, one of them we bought. I think 33 we bought. That was available for 400 grand. We bought that. But these 2 we found unbuilt on them. We built on them. So a little cheaper way to do that. But anyway, that's our FBOs, and that's where we're spending our money. It's all good, and hopefully we'll be able to expand this a little bit more. Saving up now for a 3-lotter in this area if we get that opportunity. And also coming over to England. We don't want to neglect our folks over here, United Kingdom. Planning on start to build a network in this area. Tough to get space to build on, but I would like to do that. I know one of our pilots, a Megaphone, is going to be creating up his Cessna 172 and flying it over here. We're going to put it at, I think, an airport in Ireland for free use for group members, and trying to build up our UK group. We don't want to leave. We want to make sure we build this up too, and it's not easy. Going to be easy, but we'll stay diligent on it and try to find opportunities where we can build. If not, if we can't find FBOs to build on, then we'll make sure we put some planes in these areas, so you can do some flights over the English Channel and stuff like that. And there is a lot of lucrative stuff in Europe, and I actually want to start flying more in Europe. I do have ortho built up in the surrounding London area, and I want to learn a little bit more about this geography and fly out there, especially in the mountainous areas of Europe and stuff. So it'd be kind of cool to do that. But anyway, that's the plan, and we're gonna take some time, but we're gonna get there. And got over 50 pilots now, which is great. We're growing and growing and growing and growing, and it's a lot of fun. A lot of people doing. You can take a look at our log. Let's see. Let's go to the log here. We've got a lot of people contributing, which is awesome. All of our pilots contributing, which is awesome. And actually, that brings me to a point. Let me see if I can find this. Here it is. You take a look at this. This was as of a couple of days ago. This is as of Friday, so 2 days ago. This is the income column is what we're using to track our contest, and the contest is the top 3 pilots with highest income. Okay, will get 10%, 6%, and 4% of our net assignment revenue. So after expenses and stuff, and I'm excluded. I'm not in the contest. So we've got Aramis, who won it last month and was kind enough to give back half of his earnings to the group, which was really nice of him. And we've got Sapper and Flyboy are in the running here, and some things that obviously a lot of flights have been going off in the last couple of days, so I'm sure these numbers have changed. But those three, and Quasmi's coming up too. But you can see we've got a lot of activity from our pilots, and it's great. It's awesome. Hey Andy, how you doing? Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. Yeah, around the fjords. I always think of Monty Python when someone says the word fjords. Because I think, what was that skit? There was some skit about the fjords. Oh, pining for the fjords. I think it was the parrot skit. You ever watch, if you watch Monty Python, it's the dead parrot skit where he says he's pining for the fjords. Yeah, now for something completely different. I love Monty Python. I was watching Monty Python when I was a kid, when it was first on Channel 13 on Sunday nights, and I used to watch it with my dad. My dad's still alive. I'm not talking about it as if he's passed away, but he and I used to watch Monty Python and just crack up. And I still crack up watching it. It's not dead. It's resting. This is a deceased parrot. It is no more. Yeah, I love Monty Python, especially the fish dance. I never ever saw the fish dance. Yeah, so we've got some great activity. Pining for the fjords. Yeah, Norwegian blue. A Norwegian blue. And I was right. It's pining for the fjords. So whenever I hear that word fjords, because fjords is not a common word used in America, obviously, right? We don't use fjords, right? Pining for the fjords. I always, whenever you hear the word fjords, I always think of pining for the fjords. Like, why would a parrot? I always said to myself, why would a parrot be pining for a fjord? First, when I was a kid, I didn't know what pining meant, right? But why would a parrot be pining for a fjord? Parrots are tropical, right? It's so Monty Python bizarre-ish, but in any event. Well, I'm looking at my ForeFlight, which you can't see because unfortunately I can't run Air Server and the PC-12 because it just kills the frames. But I'm getting close to we got, let's see, 15 miles to our waypoint. So let me get back in the plane here. I think that pretty much covers. I got a couple more things to cover with FSEconomy. We'll get back to that in a second. But let me get rid of this. Back in our plane. This is an X-Parrot. All right, let's see where we are here. All right, we got about 12 miles to go to Folig. So I like to start slowing down at about 3 miles. I don't know if you guys saw it, but I put a video up yesterday on how to get a window into the cockpit using, now this is Oculus Rift if you're using Dash 2.0 or, sorry, Core 2.0, which is their new Oculus Home. It's got a function where you can bring in any desktop window into your VR view, and it's great because right now I'm looking at chat. I could read chat. I think it'd be nice to do VR in cockpit and non-VR out of cockpit. Okay. I guess I get what you're saying. What this is nice is I can see this chat. I have the Twitch chat window up in the cockpit. You guys can't see it, and I'll explain the reason why. It's because I'm not using the Oculus mirror anymore to show what's inside the cockpit. Oh, the external cruise view. Yeah. Yeah, you can't. I understand what you're saying. Yeah, like a 2D. We're actually experimenting that. I think it's Crash Distal is working on trying. There's a plugin that you can do to play around with that. You need like 2 PCs, but it's a little complicated because with X-Plane you're either in VR or you're not. You know, you can't have 2D and VR at the same time. So What I try to do is keep my head still because I know what I'm looking at is like a camera. And I try not to look around too much, but sometimes you forget, you know. But yeah, you're right. It would be nice to have that. Almost like, you know, like a GoPro. Like it would be cool like if you could have like a GoPro view in the cockpit that I could switch to. That's a 2D view, but you can't do that right now. You know, it's all VR. But in any event, what I was saying was in the cockpit, I'm using dash window capability and I can see Twitch chat. You guys can't see it because I'm using a plugin for OBS. OBS is the software I use to stream. It's a plugin called OpenVR, which allows you to use because I'm going to try to keep this as uncomplicated as possible. Make sure I'm going to start slowing the plane down here. Let me go down to there. You're seeing the mirror on SteamVR, which doesn't have the Oculus stuff in it. I know it's complicated. There's like a bunch of mirrors going on here, right? But in any event, you're not seeing what I'm seeing. But I have the luxury of being able to see chat in the cockpit. And what's really nice about this is when I'm not streaming and I'm doing a long flight, like in the Challenger or something, long flights. There's my airport right there. I put in, like I'm watching the Olympics, I'll put in the Olympic stream, and I can just put the Olympics in here and watch the Olympics. It's pretty cool. I did a video on it if you want to check that out on my YouTube channel, Bambino Games. Link in the script below. You can just click there and check that out and how to do that. It's pretty simple. But again, it's for Oculus Rift. Now, if you're using HTC Vive, you can use the OV Drop application, which you can get on Steam. It's like $7 or something like that. Let me get my flaps, my gear down. Okay, 3 green, get flaps. Second notch is where I like to do it, and I like to land this plane at about 100 knots. Trim that nose up. One thing I don't like about this plane is the trim indicator is down there. I would much rather have the trim indicator on the instrument panel, so you don't have to keep looking down. Although trim is kind of a feel thing anyway when you're landing. Like you don't really care about the indicator, I think. Because it's more of a feel thing. Like I know that, no, I click it, the nose is coming up. Although there may be procedures that I'm not aware of. No, I never use track IR. I never use track IR. Let me just land the plane here and I'll... Coming into Ormond Beach, and we're going to just spin the baby around and head back to Tampa. You can see nice and smooth. Now I'm basically on medium settings, except for objects I have on low. And if I'm not streaming, I can actually run objects on medium, and I can run I have visuals on high, I have textures on medium, and I have got objects on low. If I'm not streaming, I go high visuals, high texture, and medium objects. And I don't get any judder whatsoever. And that's as of VR 3 release, which I want to talk about. Now this PC-12's got a little bit of a crunch. I try to keep it smooth, but for some reason I crunch the wheels a lot. I'm trying to bring it in real gradually so I don't crunch the wheels. Oh, that wasn't too bad. That was a skid. All right. And one thing about the PC-12, I'm not wild about the brakes. They're not very... The BC-10, the B1900D has awesome brakes. Awesome brakes. Thing stops on a dime and just stops square without like any... You can see if I put the brakes on here, it kind of like is like rough. You know, Carenado planes are what they are. They're a lot of eye candy, and it's not a study level plane, so you're going to get some, you know, you're going to get some things about it that are quirky that you don't like, you know. But I love this PC-12. I think it's a nice plane. Might be a little bit overpriced for what you're getting, but in any event, it is what it is. I do like the PC-12 and the 1900D so far have been my favorite Carinado planes. There have been planes that I didn't like. Actually, one that I returned, the SR-22, was just awful. The 208 is okay. It's okay. It's just nice to have a 208 in FSEconomy. But this might be this one, and this might be my favorite Carinado plane, though. All right, good there. Set parking brake.
Parking brake set.
Let's see. Did you use Track IR similar before? No, I never used Track IR. I actually have never flown X-plane in 2D. So my DNA is I started flight simming years and years ago with FSX. Okay, and then before, like, I'm talking about Sublogic days, a long time ago. And then progressed with FSX and, into FSX 10, okay? And then I got out of it for a little bit of time. I really wasn't into it much. And then I got back into flight simming when Aerofly FS2 came out, not with VR, just on its own. I just thought it looked really cool, and I bought that. And then I got a HTK2, which was my first VR headset, and I used that with Aerofly and was just blown away. And then I used it with DCS and was blown away. So then the HTK2, which is made by Razer, it's OpenVR and all that, OSVR, it just became too kludgy for me, so I sold that and bought the Rift. And when I bought the Rift, I heard about Fly Inside and X-Plane, because I always liked X-Plane. I thought that X-Plane was, from what I read about it, it just seemed to be a really solid sim with a lot of real world. And I got the demo versions of both, and I hooked it all up, and I tried it with my Rift, and I was just completely blown away. And that's when I got into it. So that's basically how it went. Really for VR Vive Pro at the end of the year. Yeah, they're saying September. The extra resolution is going to make it a lot easier. Yeah, I agree with you. A lot of things can happen between now and September M66. So have to wait and see. But yeah, obviously, I think the next thing is better resolution. And it's interesting that they announced it 9 months before, or 10 months before they're going to deliver it. Usually when you announce something, you deliver it a quarter after. So I found that kind of curious. Like, I thought that they kind of announced. I know they probably wanted to stay relevant in the VR space, which in a new technology area, you want to make sure you do that. While I waste gas here in FSEconomy. Actually, let me turn this off here. It's going to end my flight. All right, so I just ended the flight. I'll get back to chat in a second here. Let me get my let me get myself set up here. Let's see. All right, so what happened? What? I know I started the flight. I don't understand what happened. I flew there without anybody. How did I do that? How on earth did that happen? I'll have to look back and look at the video. I don't know what the hell happened there. What? I know I started the flight because I'm at DAB now. Does that make any sense to you whatsoever? All right, let me see what happens here. I'm gonna start the flight. Okay, it says en route. All right, we'll have to just head back to Tampa. That's so weird. I don't know what the hell. I'm sure it's the logical explanation that I screwed something up. But in any event, we'll just have to go back and fly those things back. I don't know what the hell happened. We'll figure it out, I guess. All right, let me get in the air, and then I'll get back to chat here. All right, so we're heading back to, let me just make sure my GPS is right here. Oh, I'm at the wrong... What? What the hell? I think my GPS is screwed up. Oh, I flew to Dab instead of... I'm at the wrong airport. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I'm at the wrong friggin' airport. I'm at the wrong airport. Wait a second. What the hell did I do here? All right, I had to decipher what the hell I did here. So I'm at, where am I? I flew to the wrong airport. What happened was I missed my waypoint and I flew to Dab. So that means I've got... All right, I still got these people on board to fly to OMN. So let's do that. All right, let me go back here. Get my shit together here. Hold on. Go back here. See, I was talking there, and when you talk, you don't pay attention to what the hell you're doing. Okay, we're going to go to Omen. Now I know what happened. I went straight. I didn't follow Fatty. That's what happened. Actually, what I could probably do is go up to this guy. No. Let's do this. That's what happens when you talk and you don't pay attention. All right, we're going to go right to Omen. Beautiful. We should go to Omen, right? No, that's... Come on. What the hell? All right, let's just keep it there, and I'll find the friggin' airport. Let's do that. How about that? I'll find the airport. Yeah, sometimes worse than others. That's true. At least I got somewhere. All right, so I got my passengers on here. I'm going to take them to Omen. And I'm not going to chatter while we're doing it. Well, I just pushed the torque in the red there. I'm sure I'll get a comment about that on YouTube. I always do. Someone says, you pushed the torque into the red. It was a mistake, and it's a fake plane. All right, let's get up in the air here. Gear up, flaps up. And we're gonna go find Omen. I know where it is. Yeah, so what happened was I missed that waypoint. I took it off autopilot, and I saw a runway, and I just said to him while I was yapping, and I said to myself, oh, there's the airport, and it wasn't the correct airport. So we just made a stop for nothing and lost a group some money. But thankfully, able to figure it out. We don't want to fly too fast. I think Orman's right there. Just don't know how it's oriented. I think it's oriented like... Yeah, we want to come over here. Yeah, landed at the wrong one. That's exactly what happened. All right, there's my runway. So basically, B2, the main difference, you talk about track IR. The main difference is track IR when you have to turn your head and you don't get the benefit of peripheral vision. Now, while the field of view in VR is only like, what, 110 degrees? It's not fantastic field of view, but you still get the feeling of like 3 dimensions, so you kind of get like a little bit of a peripheral vision view, if you will, like a blocked peripheral vision view. But it's so much easier to, like, you know, look out the window like that instantly, or look over there instantly, and everything is in 3 dimension. That's the main thing. The 3 dimension of it is the main thing. Landing, finding an airfield, finding a runway, lining yourself up to a runway is so much easier with VR. So I'm a little high here. One thing you learn about piloting an airplane is small, slow movements and changes. Don't want to get nervous about it. This is going to be a clunker. See that crunch? I'm not sure that's a good sound effect for what actually happened. Is there a runway there? Yeah, we'll go that. We're going that way, so I'll turn around and use that runway. All right, now that we're at the right airport, at least we figured it out. First, I was like, what the hell? Crossing runway 08. And we'll taxi over here. There's the plane looking nice. All right. Set parking brake.
Parking brake set.
Oh yeah, FSE thinks you're at another airport. Yeah. Andy used Track IR for quite a while. The triple monitor works really well, but VR is totally different ballpark. That's so true, and a lot less expensive than 3 monitors, right? M9, how you doing? I'm in Tampa right now. I'm at Ormond Beach. I flew from Tampa. I'm in Ormond Beach, so the west coast of Florida. Sorry, east coast of Florida, and then we're gonna fly across back to Tampa. We're doing a run across Central Florida. I'll show you in a second. Unfortunately, I can't run air server with the PC-12. It's awful. So let me go to end FSEconomy. Finish that flight, and then we're gonna go to Chrome window, and we'll take a look at how we did. There we go, $6,000, beautiful. We went from Tampa to Dab because I landed at the wrong airport. So we made $3,300 for VR Aviation and $2,700 for yours truly. So we're back in the plane. We've got 10 passengers departing from Ormond Beach. Here's the flight. We're right here in Ormond Beach. And we're going to be heading to Tampa. So we're going across Central Florida. All right, so let me get that loaded up. Let's see how much, got enough gas, 145. Yeah, we burned 50 gallons here. We should be fine. So we'll start that up and just refresh this. Make sure this is en route, which it is. Beautiful. And let's get her going. Yeah, a little Florida run. There's a lot of money to be made with the PC-12 in Florida. Because you can do the fast... You can do those fast 100-mile jaunts. Notice no clicking. Quasme, who's one of our Discord members, turned me on to a really quick solution where you modify the sound file. There's a couple of lines of code that you have to delete in the sound file, and the clicking is gone, which is awesome. All right, let me make sure my GPS is correct here, which it doesn't look like it is. So let me go to flight plan, and I want to go to here, and I want to go to crap. I want to scroll down to fatty, activate that leg, boom, beautiful. Get myself centered, and we'll head back to Tampa. All clear. Flap set. Let's take a look at the outside of the plane. There she is, the VR Aviation PC-12. I don't know about you, but I think the guy who created that livery did a pretty nice job. Anyway, here we go. Promise not to overcook the engine this time. At least the brakes. Get some P factor with this plane, that's for sure. But what I like about this plane, even though it's not realistic, is that you don't see the propeller. So you feel like you're flying a jet. Because it is fast. I mean, it's as fast as a business jet. Well, maybe not as fast as a business jet, but it's... I mean, you can get up to 235, 240 knots. Gear up, flaps up. Get her on our course, and then we've got a few more things to talk about. And this time we won't fly. We won't land at the wrong airport. It is a nice looking plane, though. Altitude hold.
Altitude hold on.
LNAV on.
LNAV on.
All right, we're going to hold that course and altitude. Make sure we're good to go there. Brendan Coy, how you doing? Thanks for joining the stream. Appreciate it. Welcome to VR Aviation too. Brendan's a VR Aviation member, as is M9 and Andy. And if I'm missing anybody else in chat, Andy's our hardest working. Not to create any competition, but Andy is our hardest working VR Aviation member. Actually, I would say that he and I probably produce about the same amount of revenue, but he's much smarter with his flights than I am. He has a very good profit margin. Just, something the board of directors looks at when they're reviewing the financials every month. They want to see which pilots have a appreciation for profit margin. Yeah, I work from home too. That helps a lot. Definitely helps a lot. But yeah, all right. So we're back on our track to Tampa. Let me get the outside view here. All right, still got those hovering XPS. So what I wanted to talk about was, let's see. Oh, the group ad. So let's take a look at the group ad. See if I can pull that up here. Hold on. Give me 1 second, guys, and I'll find it. Where the hell is it? Oh, it's not it. There it is. Let's see here. All right, let me bring this up. So this is the group ad. We're going to put this, actually, I've modified it since, and I've added the B1900D to it. So, but we're going to put this ad in the monthly newsletter, hopefully, and just going to use this to advertise the group and hopefully attract some more pilots to the group. So I put this together. And actually, oh, this is the wrong one. Damn, hold on. Here it is. Let me look at this one instead. This one's better. There you go. This is the updated one. So it's got the PC-12 on there and the 209. Sorry, 208. And we talk about the entire network and basically give people a snapshot of what we do. So, and I'm not the only one that streams. Sapper streams. M9 does videos and streaming. There's other folks that are pilots that I've seen that are doing streaming. I'm sure I'm leaving out some people, but there's a lot of people that are helping to promote our group, and it's great because we're getting more and more people joining, which is cool. So this is the ad that I put together to help advertise things and hopefully attract more people. What happens if you crash your plane in FSEconomy? Is there a realistic penalty? No. The penalty is you got to go back to where you started and go start again. It's not really aware of plane damage and stuff like that. It's aware of gas. It's aware of maintenance. So every once in a while, it'll say you need to spend money on, repairing your engine or something like that. It's aware of 100-hour maintenance schedule. So every 100 hours, you've got to do an overhaul. That costs you a decent amount of money. So it's aware of that stuff, but if you crash the plane, it has no idea. All it knows is where the plane is. It's not really aware of what's going on inside X-Plane 11. So yeah, so there's no penalty for that. Now, if you want to join the group, you just go to, let's see, go to groups and go to all, okay, and you'll see a bunch of groups here, loads and loads of groups. Just go to find, okay, and type in VR Aviation, just put VRA, and it will come up right there, and you'll see a little join button. Okay, see, it's for the fun of flying, contests, live streams, live chat, and more. And just hit that join button, and we'll get you in the group. The only thing we ask is you fly at least once a month for the group flight. And then if you use the planes, you keep them in the network or around the network so that people don't have to fly them out. You know, you don't want to take one of our planes and fly it 1,000 miles out of the network, you know. It's not helpful. We had one person do that, and you know, one of our guys had to go fly a Baron 1,000 miles. Crasha, how you doing? Thanks for joining the stream, man. Appreciate it. So anyway, just keep the planes within the network, and keep it fun, and got a lot of stuff that you guys can take advantage of. So consider joining. All right, that's the VR Aviation group. All right, let me go to. Oh, we also want to let you know we've got a Facebook group. This Facebook never comes up. So if you're on Facebook and you want to join the VR Aviators group, just search VR Aviators in Facebook and enter your application. There's a couple people here who have applied. All you need to do is answer one question so we know you're not a bot or you're not going to be a troll. And we'll get you in there. We got 366 members and some great discussion about VR and VR aviation. So if you're having troubles or you're just interested in it, you haven't gotten into it yet, make sure you check this out because it's some good information. And then in addition to that, I have a Reddit, subreddit that I manage called the VR Aviators Group, and this is more for threaded activity. And one of the things I have on here is a payware planes list that are basically certified with a native VR. So if you look here, and I keep this up to date, these are the planes that have announced that they are certified with VR. So we're going to keep that updated. If someone finds something, they put something in the comments, I just ask that you put a link to verify that the developer has said that it is supported under VR, which means, it's in the specs and stuff, not, hey, it works pretty good. It's got to be the developers, certifying that it works. So, and once we have that, then we're going to keep this running list so we know which third-party planes work and which ones don't. So, this is the good thing about the VR Aviators Red. So check that out and join if you'd like, and some good contributions there. In any event, all right, so let's talk about, let me get this out of here. Let's talk about the, keep breaking up my setup. Oh, you're going to stream today, Crasha? Good. Okay. Yeah, make sure you check out Crasha. He's going to stream today. Awesome. Crasha does a lot of flying for the group, too. And good knowledge of VR and stuff. So make sure you check him out. Cool. So I want to talk about 11.20 VR2. So VR3. VR2 came out. A lot of people had some issues. There was issues with the Warthog, the Thrustmaster sticks. So they fixed that. A bunch of other issues. They did a hot fix, which was VR3. I installed VR3. Pardon me. Let me get a drink here. Sorry for the yawn. I installed VR3 on my test system and ran it. Ran really clean. Used it for a couple hours. Didn't have any issues. So then I decided to install it on my main system, which is all ortho and some plugins. Now I don't use the Fly with Lua plugin. I found that to just cause issues with VR. So I know some people do, and they use the 3J FPS and all that. I don't use any of that. I just use basically clean X-Plane VR. I lower the settings to medium basically to keep the frames right. And, that's what I do. So in any event, VR3 to me, it seems a lot smoother. I'm not sure what they did. I'm not sure if they did anything, but it just seems to me that there's a lot less judder with VR3. It could be just, I probably used it for maybe about 7 or 8 hours now, which is a decent amount of time. And maybe it's just the situations that I've put it in, but I've noticed a big decrease in the amount of judder, which is really, really good. And hopefully, if that's the case, and hopefully it's a sign of things to come. And as I mentioned in the video that I put together on my YouTube channel, I go over all the functions that you get in VR3, which is the laser pointer, the 3D mouse, the configuration of the touch controller, sensitivity of the touch controllers. I'm sure I'm missing something, but check out that video if you want to check that out. And so I'm really pleased with VR3, and I think Laminar is making progress. It's been it came out Christmas Day or Christmas Eve, so we're a little over a month and a half into native VR, and I would say that it's getting better, which is really cool. So I wonder if you guys are having the same type of experience with VR3 if you've upgraded. I know there's been mixed reviews. I've seen some people say that they can't get it running, and some people say it's amazing. So I'm not sure where you fall, but in any event, yeah, it seems for at least for my situation and my setup, it seems to be better. It's good. Yeah, so that's that. So the other thing I wanted to talk about is I just finished a giveaway for 10,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel, which I'm now at like 10,200, I think. And Sapper was actually the winner. He won a Aerosphere Seminole with a G1000 and a copy of XP Realistic and a copy of Plane Command. Now he has mentioned that he's going to be giving away his Plane Command and XP Realistic copies because he already has it, and he has an idea of how he's gonna do that with a lottery thing. So stay tuned for that. If you're part of the Discord, join my Discord. It's Bambino VR, and in there we have channels for a VR Aviation group, and that's where I think Sapper's going to actually run the lottery for those software. So, sorry, I keep yawning. In any event, make sure you stay tuned for that, which is a cool thing for him to do. But I'm going to be doing another giveaway probably next week. Advanced Flight Modeling, the creators of the M20R Ovation, the Mooney Ovation 2 and 3, which you get both planes when you buy it. They have kindly sponsored a giveaway of that plane, and I'm going to be putting together a giveaway on my YouTube channel of that plane. Now, it's an early access plane. A lot of people are saying great things about it. I've flown it. It's really nice, and it's VR compatible. And it's fun to fly. It's fast. It's a single engine 4-seater, but it can get up to 175, which is pretty powerful. And AFM, is attention to detail. It's a study level plane, so it's what most people really want with X-Plane 11. And yeah, we're going to be giving one away. So look for that probably in a week. And the way you'll enter that is the same way you entered the last contest I did, which is by subscribing to the YouTube channel, and you'll have additional methods to increase your chances of winning. So it'd be cool to give it away, and I appreciate Advanced Flight Modeling sponsoring the giveaway, and looking forward to getting that done. So in any event, that's pretty much all the updates for today. The group is growing strong. Some healthy competition within the FSE groups, and I mentioned before I wanted to talk a little bit about the accusations that were flying yesterday in John Fly's stream, and I'm not sure. Yeah, John Fly's actually streaming right now. The accusations I'll just get to this. Really good for me. All the problems. Oh, all the problems are ones that you're creating. Gotcha. But yeah, so yesterday, and I'm not sure if B2's here. Probably not, since John Fly's streaming. B2's probably over with John Fly. But yeah, the accusations that I was spying on Snack Air. Now, I was a member of Snack Air. I actually joined. Let me explain, because I want to clear the air. I kind of tried to clear the air in John Fly's chat yesterday, but I figured I should try to clear the air here where I can actually speak about it. Because I don't like to be accused of things that are not true. So, in any event, the history is, the sequence of events are, I joined John Fly's group, Snack Air. And I was a member of Snack Air, and I flew, I know I flew at least one, maybe two flights for Snack Air. And then I just got this crazy idea to start my own group. And because I figured, we'd probably get some people interested for the streaming and the YouTube channel and all that to be part of it. And maybe we could build this thing that can, build up some momentum and, be kind of cool to do, and get all these planes that we could co-op. And that was really what I started to think of doing. And I started to, now I will admit that I got some ideas by looking and watching what John Fly was doing with his, because he was new to it too. And I was new to it, and I did get some ideas from him, so I'll thank him for that, helping me with some understanding. But I really did not join the group to poach or to spy. It was a sequence of events. So once, and a little side thing is, I reached out to John Fly probably 2 weeks ago, and before February, and actually, yeah, it was in January, and suggested that we have a little competition between our group. Now, this was when our groups were about the same size, and since then, he's like exploded. So I'm not sure if the bet would be fair now, but the bet was going to be whoever produced the most income, one group would give the other group a plane. The loser would give the other group a plane, and the best part of it would be to have to fly that plane to the destination of the winning group's choice. And, we kind of talked back and forth, and we decided to hold off because he said he had some things going with his group, and we might be doing something in March. And I guess because I proposed that little wager, the accusations started to fly within the boardroom of Snack Air that they had a spy named Bambino VR amongst their members. So what I did was, once we kind of decided that, this is before the accusations flew, once we kind of decided that we might do a competition, I decided to resign from Snack Air, which I think was like sometime like early last week. So that's the history of what things actually happened. Now, I will tell you that I know there are a couple of Snack Air members that are welcomed into the VR Aviation group. They fly, maybe their full-time job is Snack Air, but they fly a couple of part-time gigs for us. I'm not going to name any names. They know who they are. And we're happy to have them, but I hope that, we don't have any spying going on the other side. Although there's not really much you can spy on, because most of the information is not available to all members. But in any event, you never know. So that's the story. And I swear on all that's holy that my intentions when I joined John Fly's group was not to be a spy. It was only to be a forthright, conscious, and good citizen member of the Snack Air group, with every intention of pitching in and helping to grow it, until I got the light bulb to start my own. And again, I want to thank John Fly for paving the way and watching him help me learn some things, and watching his chat with some of the people that are very familiar with FSE, helped me learn from things. I will tell you that having RML services merge with us, and working with Mike and Sapper, M1316MC and Sapper, the guys who started RML, has really helped me understand a lot about FSE in the last couple of weeks, so it's been actually cool. Seems a bit weird that anyone would view. Oh yeah, crash it. It was all in good fun. It wasn't. Let me let me sum all that up. That it was all in good fun. It was no. He was just kidding around. It was just good fun, and my reaction is in good fun. It's all in jest, so it's nothing serious. I think I think both groups. We're all of us that fly for both groups. We're all about building up FSEconomy. FSEconomy is really a great thing, right? You think about it, right? FSEconomy is free. I mean, there's no donation tab. If there was a donation tab, I would donate. They should put one up because a lot of people would donate, and they have server costs and stuff like that. People would donate to that. And for what it is, we complain about the interface. Some people, at least, even I have some few complaints about it, that it's kind of an older interface, et cetera, et cetera. It's still pretty cool. And you know what? Without FSEconomy, okay, what is flight simulation? Taking off, which is easy to do. Navigating to your destination, which is easy to do, unless you screw it up like I just did and land at the wrong airport. And then landing, the fun part, the challenging part. Landing is the challenging part. So in flight simulation, you take off, you fly, you land. You take off, you fly, you land. Pretty soon it gets boring. At least for me, it gets boring. Even though if you add ortho scenery so you can fly different places of the world, you start to do some scenic things and to make it more interesting, but it's going to get boring. When you have something like FSEconomy, gives you a reason to fly, gives you a reason to meet people, gives you a reason to build a team, gives you a reason to be part of a team, gives you a reason to put yourself in front of, put your own interests aside for the best interests of the group. It makes flight simulation a social thing, which is a really powerful thing. And that's why I think people are attracted to it. That's why I was attracted to it, and that's why I'm trying to help promote it, because I think it's really good for our hobby, quote unquote, which is flight simulation. Whether it's VR flight simulation or 2D flight simulation, FSEconomy is a way to keep people's interest, and that's what's really cool about it. That's what's really cool about it. And again, I wish they had a donation button, because I know I would, and I know a lot of people would donate to them. I only wish, like a lot of us, that they kept the database up to date, and maybe they, did a little bit better job on the interface or whatever. Maybe if they had some money, they could do those things. I don't know. And maybe it being free is what keeps it cool too, because there's no greed factor, Oh, we're getting close. Andy says, since using FSE with VR Aviation, I've probably done more flying than I have in... Yeah, right? You've done a lot of flying, right? Well, that's cool, Crasher. I'm glad to hear that, And that's what it's all about. It's about the fun of it. Like I said, if we're all sitting in our little cocoons, right? Taking off, flying, and landing, I mean, it would get kind of boring. But you know what? Having a goal, like I need to save up $1 million to buy a Challenger. I've been flying my ass off for 2 weeks to try to build up enough money to buy a Challenger, because I don't want to take a loan. I want to own it. I don't like taking loans. It's challenging. It makes you think about things. It makes you search. You learn things. It brings a different element to the hobby that makes it interesting. And I know John Fly and others that are into FSEconomy agree, and because I've heard him talk about it. It's a cool thing. And when you mix it with things like Pilot Edge is great, but when you mix FSEconomy with Pilot Edge, you have a really powerful thing. A really powerful thing. But in any event, I need to get back into the cockpit here, because I'm going to be landing shortly. I get off my soapbox, but I hope you guys agree. And this time, This time I will land at the correct airport. So I'm coming up to my waypoint here. Get myself centered. Beautiful. All right, let's slow the plane down. Yeah, what am I on? I think I'm on this is my 41st episode of FSEconomy, and actually it's more than that because I flew the SR20 across country. That was like 9 episodes. So it's really like 50 YouTube episodes of FSEconomy, and people are interested in. It's interesting. I watch John Fly's FSEconomy streams. I think they're interesting. I think it's interesting, watching people talk about this. And it's interesting. Like I said, it's a social thing. Snack Air is a team of people. VR Aviation is a team of people. We're trying to bring a different element to FSEconomy. I just hope that some of those people that are sitting on all those wonderful FBOs in the East Coast will give up a 3-lotter to VR Aviation so we can expand our network. Please, somebody. Philadelphia. LaGuardia would be amazing, but no one's going to give that up. Need somebody. All right. What do we got here? 9 miles. In the UK, I've been looking around there. I don't know about you, Andy, but I don't see any FBOs available in the UK. Yeah, no, I'm talking about Europe. I just mentioned it. It's Bren. You probably just missed that because of delay. I want to go to Europe, but those are all taken too. It's so difficult, That's why the key, I think, for our group, get hand fly here. The key for our group is to build up cash so that we are in a good position when something becomes available. Because you're going to have to pay a premium. Oh, there is? Well, send me the information just on Discord, all right? Send me that information on Discord. Yeah, because I want to build up. We need to build up our cash now. Might put one more. Well, I don't think we're going to put any more small FBOs in the East or the West. I think we're focusing on 2 things. A 3-lotter in the East, which is going to be expensive, but it'll be a good investment for us. And getting into Europe. Now, Europe, we might start with a 2-lotter and build from there. If we can find a 2-lotter. I want to try to stay away from the 1-lotters because they don't really generate enough assignments to kind of like make it interesting. I mean, they're okay if they're really cheap, or if you find one that's unbuilt on that you can build on. 10 million, see? Is that a 3-lotter or a 2-lotter? I want to show you. Look right down there. See that dial all the way to the right? That's the trim indicator. It's a terrible place to put it. Because you have to go down here and look at the trim and go boop like that. It's terrible. How do you tell? If you click on the little icon, the blue icon of the when you're looking at the airport, it'll tell you, or just hover over it, it'll tell you, or either right-click it or hover over it. It should tell you how many lots it is. Actually, what it is if it's an icon with a single runway, that's a 2-lotter. If it's an icon with multiple runways, that's a 3-lotter. 10 million, it's better be a 3-lotter. All right, I think I'm going to do one more flight in Tampa. We're not going to go to LaGuardia. We're going to stay in Tampa. See if we can get a short flight. Pick one out. Nice and smooth, man. That's what I'm telling you. Since VR 3, look how smooth this is. So smooth. I'm a little off center here. Come on, I'm floating. Don't float. That was a nice landing, except for the float. All right, let's stop this plane. Small airport, 2 lot. That's ridiculous. 10 million for a 2 lot? That's ridiculous. Where is it? That's ridiculous. 10 million. Come on. We just bought. We bought 33N. That's a 2 lot for 400K. I mean, 750K is a little better, but it really depends on where it is. See, the thing is you got to have the 2 lot and you got to have connections to it. Having just one airport isn't good enough. All right, let me see. Set parking brake. Actually, I'm going to stay on the runway here. Set parking brake.
Parking brake set.
All right. Let me end FSEconomy here. All right. Let's see. Let's see how we did here. 10 million is Wolverhampton. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not familiar with a lot of the. Oh, we did pretty good here. Look, so we made. See these Tampa dudes are great, man. Let me grab this plane again before someone nails it. All right, rent that plane. Boom. All right, let's pick out another. So we did very well. Let's look at our log again. So we made, let's see, 2,800 for VR Aviation there, and we made 0 there. Oh, that's 3,300. Sorry. So what's that? 6 grand? A little over 6 grand. Pretty good. Not bad. All right, let's check out Tampa again. I'm going to pick out one that I already have a flight plan for. Fairly short one. Let's just see what we got here. SGJ. So that's let's see, we got 10 seats there. And we got 4 seats coming back. So that's not going to be a great one. Ooh, look at this bulk one. Ooh, I got to pick that up for the Challenger later. See, there's a Challenger nearby. Where's this? SJG. That's 100 miles away. You know what? Let me see. Let's see if we got a Challenger. 695, 4,700. That's going to be 2 stops. Yeah, so this is 690. The Challenger, 4,700 kilograms, 700 miles. That's we're gonna have to stop and get gas probably for that. So that'd be a pretty long one. All right, so we're not gonna get enough action back here. So let's see here. Maybe we'll do a flight out somewhere, TMB. I tell you what, let's just do a one-wayer. We'll do a one-wayer to this guy here. So let's see if we can get 5 here. So we'll go. Try to always get the single because they pay the most, but can't always get them because it doesn't work out mathematically. So we're gonna go there, 1, these 2, and then these 2. We'll do one leg here, and I'll fly it back later. Cool. So that'll be see 99, 135, so pull it 150. Says we need 26 gallons. I don't believe it. I'm gonna go just in case 125. All right, and so we got to fly for VR. Make sure when you fly, you hit this thing, fly for VR Aviation. Boom. Now we're flying for VR Aviation. We're going to SGJ, so let me get that dialed into the... close this. I gotta close the... I just always delete this just in case. I'm gonna go Tampa to SGJ. We're just gonna do one leg, but beautiful. We're gonna turn around. That's okay. I'm flying the PC-12. All right, so we're gonna go to. We're gonna be flying to St. Augustine. Let's see here. Just basically the same direction we were going before. But this time I won't miss my... Oh yeah, PC-12 is an awesome moneymaker there, for sure. All right, let's get this started. Right, when you see that blink, FSEconomy is started, I'm checking to make sure it is en route. And it is en route. And we're good to go. So to turn the plane around. Head to St. Augustine. I always thought St. I don't know. I'm not real familiar with Florida geography. I always thought St. Augustine was on the west coast of Florida, but it is on the east coast of Florida. Let's see, by the way, I've got something interesting in external view experiments to show you on this. All right, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna have to after this. I'm gonna grab some lunch and then I'll make sure I check out your stream. I just have not had the time to dive into that plugin. I think it's really cool you're doing that. I just haven't had the time to do that. Oh, Joe the Bro. You've been on there a long time, man. Almost 10 years. That's awesome. Awesome. Yeah, I'm probably thinking Fort Lauderdale. Joe the Bro. I tell you what, man. It is so hard to get by FBOs. You know, it's so hard. We're trying to get one in the Northeast. I don't know if you heard that before, but it's so difficult. Let me get my flaps to... Oop. My flaps correct. And I gotta itch my nose. There you go. Scratch my nose. Release the brakes. Get this bird in the air. See if I can take off. There you go. Pretty cool, eh? All right. Let's see. Let's go to... We're going to go... Here, we're going to fly at 2000 again. Why? No, this is X-Plane 11, dude. You look at the title in the stream, it says X-Plane 11 VR. Well, actually, I'm in VR. X-Plane 11 VR. Altitude hold?
Altitude hold on.
LNAV on.
LNAV on.
All right. The computer fly the plane. Yeah, that's exactly right, M66. In Twitch, when you set up your stream, you have to tell it what game you're streaming. And people know Microsoft Flight Simulator X 10. And so if you notice, everybody who streams, and Lewis Hawk, thank you for the follow, man. I appreciate that. Anybody who streams, no matter really what.
Flight 209er, clear for vector 324.
We have clearance, Clarence.
Thanks for the follow, dude. No matter what flight simulator they're streaming, P3D, X-Plane, they all use Microsoft Flight Simulator 10 because that's what just people know. If you tried to stream, if you stream and you use the X-Plane gaming connection, people won't really find you. So I agree. It's something that should change over, and hopefully it will, because especially that, FSX is kind of, I don't want to say it's on its way out, but it's kind of lost a lot of momentum. I mean, it's older, right? And, now Dovetail Games is, yeah, right. Everybody does, Joe. Dovetail Games is FSW, and that's really the new FSX, right? So, and then I was complaining to Joe the Bro about, since he's like long time FSE user and flyer, how difficult it is to find 3-lot FBOs in the Northeast. It's just, well, anywhere in the game, right? You want to play multiplayer? Yeah, I mean, you can do multiplayer. The way I do multiplayer with X-Plane 11 is Pilot Edge. Pilot Edge is a service that you can sign up for that has live ATC people. You actually are talking to a live air traffic controller in the California and the western region of the United States, and they're continually expanding. But Pilot Edge is multi-user, so it allows you to not only do that, but in other areas where there's not ATC coverage, you can do multiplayer. So like Sim Pilot 13 a couple weeks ago did a group flight in the British Virgin Islands, in the Caribbean, which he did on Pilot Edge. So you log on to Pilot Edge and you can see other planes that are flying with you, which is really cool. And you can actually talk to them on radio and all that, which is pretty neat. You were never on the FBO side of it. Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't either when I first started. I was mostly just into flying planes and accumulating planes, but the FBO stuff is interesting. Definitely adds to the immersion. So I'm interested to know, how many of you guys in chat have, I know there's obviously some of you guys are part of the group, and I know you're into VR, but how many of you guys are here interested to learn more about VR and thinking about getting into it? All right, Lewis. So you're thinking about getting into VR. Have you looked at? Have you tried flying in VR before? Just curious. While we're doing it, I'm going to take you on a little tour of the back of the plane. I can go over here like this. Then I can go backwards like this. You can check out the cabin of the PC-12. A little bit on the older side. Certainly not as luxurious as the Challenger. The Challenger is beautiful. But you could sit here in this chair, or I should say seat, and I could look out the window. Just as if I was a passenger. Isn't that cool? And we hope that the pilot up there is doing his job. Not your thing, cool to watch, but happy with what you have. All right, that's cool. Don't think your computer can handle it. Well, what kind of CPU do you have? Yeah, 1060 is probably going to be on the lower side. There's that clicking again. Happens when you go back into the passenger cabin. So I have to let Karen Otto know about that. Continue to go back here. We can see we get, I think we have 8 seats back here. Nope. Go up on the top of the plane. And we're back in the cargo area. And now we're out the back of the plane. Isn't that weird? Yes, this is the Carenado PC-12 for X-Plane 11, the most recent one they came out with. We're going to have to fix that clicking. So it seems like when you go back into the cabin, you get clicking. I wonder if you can... I wonder if these cabin lights are... do anything with these cabin lights. Nope. Someone left their touch controller on the floor there. I'm not sure if these guys have any. Nope, tables don't come out. Oh, yeah, look at that. There you go. That's pretty cool. All right, so you can sit here. Let's see. Oh, nice. Look at that. I can have my dinner. Well, you know, if you have a 777K, you're probably, I mean, the CPU is pretty powerful. You might be okay on with the 1060 superclock. You're probably on the lower end for VR. But you might be okay. Yeah, he means, but X-Plane VR, he wants to, I mean, X-Plane you can definitely run in 2D. VR with a 1060, you're probably right at the, you know, the entry point. Yeah, me either. It's pretty cool. Actually, I can use the laser pointer. Look at that. So I can sit here and use the laser pointer. See that? Let me show you that again. So I got the laser pointer, pointed at it. The light line is a good demonstration. So the light line just highlights it, and then I'm just barely touching the trigger to highlight it. And then when I pull that trigger full, the table collapses. Let's see if there's anything else I can interact with in here. Oh, window shades. Look at that. Cool. Let's see. There you go. Pull the shades down. Okay, that's pretty cool. Can we open the cabin? Nope. I don't want to do anything silly like open the door. Oh, I don't want to pull that. That's what I mean. You got to be really careful with this laser pointer because you could screw shit up. You know, you don't want to screw stuff up. Here's a nice look at the cabin. This is a nice look at the cabin here. You can really get a good sense for. Hey guys, how you doing? How's the flight? You know, you get those annoying people on the ground shooting lasers at you. You can shoot back now. Look. You know, they have the problem with people laser pointing pilots. And now the pilots can shoot back. So you can grab that thing. Pretty cool. This one's always in the way. I wish it was over here. It's kind of weird the way you manipulate this like that. And now you can get to these. Oh, actually the fuels, those should be on auto. Oh boy, how's our fuel? Shit. We might have a problem here. Yeah, we should be okay. We should be okay. 208 is not fully even. Yeah, the autopilot controls don't work here either. None of the Carinados have autopilot. None of them are certified with VR. Okay, first of all. So I'm surprised the 3D mouse works with the autopilot because I don't think that works. I didn't try it yet. Did I try it in the B1900D? I think I tried it in this plane and it just highlights the same area like, you know, that you would with the laser pointer. So they're not, you know, Carinado is not going to do any VR compatibility until Laminar's released a stable release of XPVR. Man, I'm going to be running very tight on fuel here. I mean, I should be okay. What did I load up with? 135 miles. I only put 125 gallons in. Shit. All right, that's a problem. All right, I'm going to have to figure out a place to land. Let me just see. Let's just see what it says here before I panic. So let's just call it 150. No, 20. Oh, I should be fine. I should be fine. Saying I need 26 gallons. I should be fine. But let's have a contingency plan. And the contingency plan is going to be... where am I? I'm here. My contingency plan is going to be... pull up Sky Vector. So I'm right about, let's see. If I'm gonna need gas, it's probably gonna be about here. So I could land here at DED. Oh no, this is the wrong one. Shit. Let me look at ForeFlight. Hold on. ForeFlight, you guys can't see this, but I don't have a lot of options. I can land at Skinner's is private. Maybe I can land there, or I can land at... wow, there's not a lot of options. I can land at KFIN. That's what I might have to do, FIN. But I think I should be okay. I should be okay. If not, then, you know, it'll be a bad day. But I think I should be all right. Yeah, I should be fine. I mean, I put 5 times the amount of fuel that FSEconomy said I needed. What do you guys, you know, this is a good question. What do you guys use for fuel calculations? Do you just use FSEconomy, or do you have some other website do you use that you use for that? Because I've seen John Fly use a different website, and I can't for the life of me remember what website that is. I could probably turn our landing lights off, right? Beacon, strobe. We don't need our taxi lights. Unless you're going on a long flight, you just always put 75% fuel. You refuel to twice what it says. All right, well, I did it 5 times. Sim brief. Okay. Hey, Rendezvous, how you doing? Thanks for joining the stream. Sim brief. All right. I mean, I did 5 times, right? Yeah, I don't know if SkyVector has. I'll have to check out SimBrief. I don't know if SkyVector or ForeFlight has fuel planning. I mean, I pay for your full ForeFlight. I don't. I should really use that for my planning. I'm just so used to using fuelplanner.com. Let's check that out. Okay, I did look at that, but unfortunately, this doesn't have a Challenger, which I really needed it for, and it doesn't have. I don't think it's got the. Oh yeah, there's PC-12. Origin is KTPA. Destination is KSGJ. What? Hold on. Load sheet. Flight plan. I guess this is pounds, right? Trip fuel, I need 327 pounds. So, what is the fuel in pounds? Jet fuel, pounds to gallons. 6.7. So we'll call it 7 pounds a gallon, right? kilos. FSE does it in gallons. Where's fuel planner? Fuel planner. So 7 pounds a gallon is going to be, let's see. Thought it weighs all fuels in pounds. Yeah. So that's good for the Challenger, but I wish it had a Challenger in there. So 327 pounds divided by 7. So it said I need 46 gallons. I put 125 in, so should be fine. Right? Just looking this over. Let's just see if there's anything else I can put in here. The planner usage 328 pounds. All right, so I should be fine. I wish they had the Challenger in here, because then I would definitely use fuel planner. I can't find anything for the Challenger. And the Challenger I'm doing these very long flights, you know, like 600-700 mile flights with like 420 kilos kind of thing. 450, 460 kilos. And, you know, you want to make sure you got to figure out if you need to stop or whatever. And there's no way to do that. There's no way to get that detail. In any event, well, that's good to know. Thank you. I could use that for the PC-12 and some of the other planes, I guess. Because, you know, in FSEconomy, I mean, yeah, it's only a couple dollars, but I guess it's always pays to overfill, you know. Yeah, I guess I'll check out the SimBrief one. I want to see if... I'm surprised ForeFlight doesn't have fuel planning. I looked on the iPad app. I didn't see anything. Donovan would know. Donovan knows ForeFlight really well. All right, what do we got here? 40 miles to go. That's good to know, you know, because you can't trust FSEconomy. Because it said 26, it's actually 46, right? Got to believe X-Plane. Well, how does it work? Let's think about how this works. So the plane is running in X-Plane. So whatever you put in the thing is what's going to run. So I put 125 gallons in, and the modeling, Carenato's modeling for this plane is correct, then to fly this trip, I should only use 46 gallons, right? Let's call it 50 gallons. So when we land, I should be, well, it's going to be a little bit more because I have a waypoint in there. So let's just call it 60 gallons. I should use 60 gallons. So I should have 65 gallons left in the tank when I land. Right? If Carenato did their job on fuel consumption for the plane, I'm not sure if that works if it's Carenato and X-Plane or vice versa. But if those numbers are all right, based upon fuel planner, I should have 65 gallons left in the tank when I land. So let's see. Let's see if that's the case. Remember that, 65 gallons. I love testing out these little things, you know, to see if how accurate the simulation is. Now, the other thing I want to try at the end of this is, which is really cool, I did it the last stream, is a different way to look at a replay. Instead of sitting in the cockpit or the side of the plane, with VR, and I guess you could do this in 2D too. As I keep saying 2D too, it's confusing. 2D as well. What I like to do is, once I land, I put myself sitting on the side of the runway and watch the plane come in, which is really cool. All right, Brendan, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. And Brendan is another VR Aviation member. Good flyer for us. I appreciate it. Good to see you in the chat. We'll be talking to you soon. Looks nice, doesn't it? I love the lines of that plane. It's got that big nose because it's got that huge engine in there. I think it's a Swiss design plane. What do you need for VR? Well, you need a good computer. Like you said, you got a decent one. I think 1060 is probably going to be on the low end, so you might have some challenges with a 1060. You probably would need at least a 1070. But you know, the higher the better, and it's very. I know it's very difficult right now to get graphics cards. I'm using a 1080 Ti. But you need to get an Oculus Rift or an HTC Vive, and those, or there's other ones available too, like the Samsung Odyssey and the Windows Mixed Reality. Although those are fairly new, and you really want to look into them before you buy them. There are some differences. Like apparently they've got better resolution than the other two, but it's different method of tracking, and some people say the controllers don't work as well. The only three that are certified with X-Plane 11 are Rift, Vive, and Windows Mixed Reality. I have a Rift. I like it. I like it because it's comfortable. It's much more comfortable for me than the Vive. I've used the Vive many times. The Vive feels like you're wearing a scuba mask to me. Where the Rift is, yes, it's a similar kind of thing, but it's more comfortable. It's lighter. It breathes better. You don't get, at least I don't get the lenses fogging up. So you need to get a headset. If you went with a Rift, I think you're paying $399 now for a Rift with 2 controllers and 2 sensors, which is all you need. And you hook that up to your computer and you're good to go. So it's pretty much it. It's pretty much plug and play when you go with the majors. Now, there's some other ones that are available that are a little bit more, DUI is not the right word, but, requires a little bit more PC knowledge and skill and stuff. But like the HTK2, and there's other ones that have been announced that aren't out yet. Yeah, I would go with the mainstream if you're looking. But again, with the 1060, you're probably at the entry level, which means, you're going to probably not get the best result, the best experience. You will on some things, some games, VR games, but I'm not sure about X-Plane. All right, let's see where we are in the cockpit here. Let's see. All right, we got 17 miles to Josex, our waypoint, and then into FGJ, I should say. I would love to know if you guys know on this fuel quantity on this this panel here. It's got quantity, which obviously I get. We have 436 pounds of fuel. I guess it's got to be pounds. I mean, that should be plenty, right? Although that seems weird that's weird. Yeah, pounds. That's 433 pounds of fuel. So that's more than enough for the whole trip. What is the second one below that? FL, fuel per hour, 562. So we're burning 562 pounds an hour? I don't know what that means. I wish they had a range on here. That's what I would like to see, range. How many nautical miles I can go on the tank. The SR20 has that, and that's really, really good to have. It would be great to have a range information. So multi-monitor or VR, which is better? You know, it's. I mean, that's a good question. Multi-monitor is 2D. The key with VR is it's three-dimensional. So when I'm looking out this window, I get the feeling as if I'm up in the air. I feel like I'm 2,000 feet in the air. The yoke has dimension to it. I feel like I can reach out and grab it. Everything is three-dimensional. The dials, the switches, they look like they would in real life. On multi-monitor or any monitor, it's all two-dimensional. It's flat. You don't get that three-dimension. And the other thing is even multi-monitor, yes, you've got the ability to turn your head and look, but you still don't get the same perspective as you do in VR. In VR, when you turn and look, it's perspective. It's as if it's your real head turning and looking out the window. Okay? So I would say, and I think we had someone in the chat before that had I think Crasher said he had a multi-monitor set up, and he went from multi-monitor to VR, and he won't go back. And multi-monitor is more expensive than VR. I mean, you're going to pay what? At least, let's just say, $350 per monitor? At least. Let's just say you get good deals and you get it for $200, and 200 or $300. $300 is not a great monitor, right? So you talk about $900 for the monitor, right there. There's Andy. He has triple monitor and track IR, and switching VR is so much better. There's a guy that did it. I never had triple monitor. I only flew with single monitor. M66 sums it up right there. That's a good way of summing it up. I'm going to cut the corner here. I don't need to go out all the way out here. I could follow the GPS. I'm not going to miss my airport this time. I've flown in here before. I know where this is. Famous last words. Good advice from these guys. These guys have used triple monitors, and they'll tell you that VR is better. You know, it's newer. It's going to be a little bit fuzzier, okay? It's not going to be as clear as a 2D monitor, but for what you get in 3D, that's what it's all about. LNAV on.
LNAV already off.
LNAV on.
LNAV already off.
No, LNAV on.
LNAV on.
Now we should pick up that waypoint, and that'll take us right in. Altitude hold. Altitude hold.
Altitude hold on.
Start to slow the plane down here. That's the overspeed. Now we got the zoom button on the touch controller, which is really nice. You hit the, was it the A button? Yeah, the A button. Hit that A button, and it zooms you in. Really nice. All right, let's get our gear down. Flaps to first notch. Start to slow that plane down. Flaps to second notch. All right, we made a little money for VR Aviation today. I actually flew earlier the B1900D and in Charlotte and did a triangle run, made a nice chunk. 2D looks lifeless after VR. I totally agree. Sometimes I have to fly 2D to make, like, you know, videos and stuff for tutorials, and it's just like, ugh. Like I said, you're gonna suffer. You're gonna give up a little clarity because of the pixel density of the VR headset, but it makes up for it in three-dimensional immersion. Just right here, the landing. I mean, I feel like I'm landing a real plane, man. All right, gear down, flaps down. Gas is good. Mixture, we don't have to worry about. Undercarriage, we're good. Everybody's dump is good. Keep it around a C note, 100. See if I can land here without crunching. All right, so you want to make a little FSEconomy money for VR Aviation? Rent yourself a PC-12 in the Tampa and Central Florida area. Very lucrative. Landing on 3-1. Beautiful. All right, we're going to stop here. We'll end FSEconomy. I'll do a replay, and then we'll go over the numbers. Let's do that. All right, so let me stop here. One thing I don't like about this plane is the brakes. Well, there are a couple of things I don't like. Set parking brake.
Parking brakes set.
All right, that's good. Let's end FSEconomy. Okay, that's good. We'll go over the numbers in a second. Now let's do this. Pardon me. Let me get to close that. All right, so I'm going to go outside the plane. All right, let me go to here, and I want to do replay, and let's do a rewind. Get that plane back out there. Isn't that cool? All right, pause it. Now we're going to go here, and let's go over here where the plane landed. I think we got to go a little bit further. All right, that should be cool. Now, let's go back to replay. And let's watch the plane land. Now, I don't think we hear the sound or not. Oh, yeah, we get the sound. Pretty cool. All right, let me do this. Let me rewind that again because now I know where it landed. I want to see where it landed. I'm going to go so we can see at the landing point. Right there. All right, so now let's go over here. All right, now let's do this. Now, isn't this cool, guys? This is so cool. I feel like I'm sitting on the edge of the runway. I should be behind that fence, but here we go. There she is. Pretty damn cool. Pretty damn cool. All right, cool. Let's get back in this. Let's get back in the cockpit here. And we'll replay. We'll end that replay. Oops, the plane is going adrift. Set parking brake.
Parking brake set.
Yeah, I did that before. You want to do that again? All right, let's do that again. Hold on. Oops. Now, I came in pretty low, so I don't want the plane to hit us. All right. Hopefully this should be good. Let's see. 70% of the way having enough. Oh, you're gonna have two of them. Okay, we're you probably base it over the U.S. Where are you gonna put the other 208? Just curious, Andy. Man, you love that 208. Here comes the plane. Woo! That was cool. All right, let's stop it. Let's pause it. All right, let me go to. I got to get a little further up here. All right, that should be it right there. Let's try that. That is awesome. Oh, that's awesome. That's pretty cool. All right, let's get to the numbers. You haven't decided yet? Yeah, I mean, East Coast is really good for 208, you know. It's our network right now probably isn't going to generate enough passengers for it. Set parking brake.
Parking brake set.
All right, let's go to go to Chrome. All right, let's check out our okay, let's check out the numbers. All right, we did 5,000 there, $5,800. So we made $3,000 for the group. Pretty good. So what's that, about $9,000 for the group? Not bad, not bad. Take out the banking account. We're up to 47. Looks like some other people have been flying. Let's just take a look real quick. Yeah, Crash has been flying. Grunge Buddy's been flying. He's flying in Charlotte. The 1900D, very good. See this? See, look at the kind of money you can make with this plane. Nice, nice chunks of money, and it's my plane, no rent. All right. Yes, there's a distance bonus, but I just have that on there so people don't fly it thousands of miles away. And as long as you fly it back to Charlotte, you get your distance money back. Actually, I think the group pays that anyway. And then, oh yeah, CK Akers. He's in Canada flying the 1900 day. Very nice. I love that 1900 day. ESSA. Very nice, Andy. Very nice. Appreciate that. Yeah, you guys are doing great, and the group is doing great. Pretty soon, we'll have enough cash to buy a nice big 3-lotter, or maybe another plane somewhere, But yeah, that's gonna about do it for me today. Again, I appreciate you guys checking it out. It's a long stream today, almost 3 hours today. Some nice flying today, making some good money. Again, join if you're interested in FSE and you want to be part of a great group, make sure you check out the VR Aviation group, and we have a lot of fun, a lot of great discussion in the Discord, and so we got other things planned. We're planning a website and some other things to make everybody even closer. So anyway, I'm going to host somebody here. Let me figure out who we're going to do. Sometimes I forget to host people, but I like to do that. Let me just see. John Fly. Let's see. Let me pull Twitch up here. Let's see who's streaming. We got John Fly streaming. He's the only one. So I guess John Fly, he's going to get the hosting. Let's just see. So let's do /host. He'll get you guys. So guys, listen, I appreciate you guys watching. Have a great day and a great Sunday, and yeah, it does look sexy, doesn't it, SimPilot? Take care, guys. Have a great Sunday, and we'll probably be streaming in a couple days. I'm going to try to put together a set schedule, but we'll be talking to you guys soon. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.